We ask that you stand for the pledge of the allegiance of the American flag and remain standing for our invocation given by Councilor Chambers tonight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We can bow in prayer. Lord, we thank you for allowing us to come here tonight. We thank you for giving us traveling mercies, and we thank you for the opportunity that we can come and do the business of this city, and just because we live in this great American land, and we just thank you for the freedom that we have. We know that with freedom comes responsibility, and responsibility to do what's right and to take care of those that are less fortunate. We ask that you help us to do that. Be with those that are not able to be with us tonight because they're sick or are hurting with lost family members. Be with Counselor Starnes as he's away overseas. Return him home safely to us. Help us as we deliberate tonight that we would do the business of the city in a manner that would please you. And it's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Madam Clerk, we call the roll, please.
Counselor Striplin. Here. Counselor Wood.
Here.
Counselor Brown. Here. Counselor Starnes. Counselor Chambliss. Here. Counselor Bowles. Here. Counselor Boone. Here.
We call this Prattville City Council meeting to order. Our character trait of the month is joyfulness, maintaining a good attitude even when faced with unpleasant conditions. At this time, I'm going to ask for approval of the minutes from public hearing in City Council, August 5th, 2014. We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of approval of those minutes, signify by raising your right hand. Those minutes are approved. At this time, we have comments from persons present regarding tonight's agenda. Would anyone like to speak on tonight's agenda? Please raise your hand. Mayor, you have a report?
Yes, sir. I have a point of privilege.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Slight little presentation here from some of our, as we stated, this is our new sergeants that were recently promoted from our testing procedure. So Mr. Hope and his family. Notice I call him Mr. Hope because he ain't got this yet. Zip bag. Does come with a Band-Aid. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Mr. Staggers.
number 140. Get in line way back over here. Yeah.
And if I could say one thing about the Walker family, former MPD officer, the father was 32 years with MPD, and the younger brother works with us now, so it's a family tradition.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. 32 years of marriage service.
Okay. All right. Congratulations. K9 and motor officer. Congratulations.
Mr. Watkins.
Mr. Watkins.
Mr. Watkins.
For a ride in a potential interceptor
He
car
did.
the other
He
day,
did.
and little workman's comp over here.
Did you have your work clothes?
No, I didn't. So, well, congratulations. Anybody deserves it, you do. Let's see what was the number there. 019.
Again, if it wasn't for Miss Lisa and her bunch, this wouldn't be possible. So this is second phase, lieutenant sergeant, now working on corporals, and captains after that. So thank you, ma'am. If Mr. Ingram and Officer Snyder would step up. I just want to recognize these two officers. Officer Snyder was on patrol the other night and noticed a truck coming down Main Street into town, had a four-wheeler bouncing in the back of it. He turned around, made a stop on it, and it come to find out they just stole the four-wheeler from Gilmore Ford out of a customer's back of his truck. So he caught him right after it happened. So that's just the kind of, and we've had several commendations on Snyder since he's been here, and I just wanted to recognize him tonight. Appreciate your job. And then Officer Ingram was on regular patrol. Of course, everybody knows we about had a fire at the gin shop. Officer Ingram spotted smoke, called it in. Fire responded and was able to put it out before he lost the building. So, right place, right time, doing his job, and I just wanted to recognize him tonight. Thank you.
Pretty sure the fire department would like to recognize them also.
I'm limited to my time allotment up here, so we'll work on that for the next presentation. But thank you for the point of privilege. I'm just glad to see that everybody up here survived the start of the new school year. It's been 2 days for the public schools and a few more for private schools. And just another little public service announcement, I guess, is LPGA. It's 29 days, 12 hours, and 33 minutes away. So everybody keep that in mind as our ladies come back to travel for the LPGA.
Excuse me, Mayor. These people evidently don't want to stay any longer, so we'll allow you to leave. Let them depart.
Yeah, most everything I had to talk about here tonight is not that important, just about a budget, funding for badges and motorcycles and not motorcycles, cars.
Thank you.
Well, councilors, I bring your attention to the binders before each of you. I want to share with you the last two paragraphs of the budget presentation letter from last year. And it says, with passage of this budget, we will make another step toward fiscal responsibility and proper management of this mechanized, service-oriented organization This will also enable us to plan for future economic development projects, which equates to more revenue and more possible jobs. We have plans, we have goals, and we have commitments. These, coupled with new ideas, hard work, dedication, perseverance, have been and will prove to be the tools to continue to move this community forward. That was what was written in the 2013-14 budget. This binder hosts a proposed budget for 2014-15, and as you review it, I'd like you to keep these thoughts in mind. This budget is based on the personnel and equipment necessary to deliver the core services that the City of Prattville is charged with providing to our residents. Inside this budget, we have included a number of capital projects, along with capital equipment outlay. With complete understanding of this mechanized, service-oriented organization, our valued employees cannot perform their tasks efficiently or effectively without having the proper equipment. This is the cost of doing business. In varying degrees and coupled with a quality education system, all of our projects, equipment, daily activities, programs, and service equate back to economic development. Along with the general fund budget, you also find our two enterprise fund budgets. Our wastewater department is evolving. It's becoming a PR tool for this city, and it's becoming our clean water department to some. If you'll recall, wastewater was in bad shape in 2011. The results of this move to an enterprise fund has allowed these clean water professionals to manage their revenue efficiently and effectively, replacing worn out equipment and bringing the department to a much healthier state. Today, sanitation's financial footprint is much better. I'm looking forward to working with our new Public Works Director, Randy Lucas, on this vital department to make it more efficient and effective. I want to commend the council committees on their hard work with our department heads and the partnerships that have been formed that guarantee the success of our projects and our programs. Lastly, I'll leave you with this phrase: you can expect what you inspect. And with these comments, I turn this proposed budget over to this body for your consideration. Should you have any questions or concerns, I'm available to you in person, by phone, or email. Thank you. That's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor. Does any council member have any questions or comments for the mayor at this time?
Thank you.
Thank you. This time we have a report from Council on Special Committees. Councilor Striplin.
No, sir.
Councilor Brown.
Yes, sir. The Street Committee met on August 6th to discuss future road paving projects and priorities in the street department.
Councilor Chambers.
No, sir.
Councilor Bowles.
No, sir.
Councilor Boone.
No, sir.
With that, we have a report on the status of the city finance from our finance director.
Everyone should have the financial packet in front of them for the month of July. The first page in the packet is the July revenue report. You will see that for the month of July we had an extremely good month. Overall, we were up 20.04% from last July. That is $468,000 in 1 month. For the year, we are up 1.52% compared to last year this time. That is $435,966.22. I'm sorry, 42 cents. So we are heading the right direction. We've received 85.86% of our budget, and for most of our revenue line items, we are 75% through the year. So very, very positive. The next sheet is the monthly tax breakdown comparison, showing you each of the tax line items, how we performed for the month of July, and that ties back in with the revenue report. The next sheet in the packet is the council expense information by department. Most everybody's running right in line with where they should be for the year. And as you will see at the bottom, we have spent 77.98% of our budget. And on the expense side, we're 83.33% through the year. So we're both positive on the expense side and the revenue side, which is where you want to be. Let's see. The next report in the packet is the wastewater enterprise fund report. They are running right in line where they should be this year. They've received 78.07% of their budgeted revenues and have only spent 77.55% of their expenses that were budgeted. We are moving forward with putting money aside because we do have two revolving fund loans in that department, in that enterprise fund, and we are looking at the possibility of actually going ahead and paying one of those off because we do have the funds built up to do that. I'm just checking in to see if there are any kind of penalties, prepayment penalties that would negate any savings that we would receive. The next sheet is the sanitation enterprise fund reports. They again are running right in line where they should be. They've received 76.90% of their budgeted revenues and have spent 81.64% of their budgeted expenses. So they're right in line where they should be. The next sheet in the packet is the Judicial Special Revenue Fund income statement. They have come back in line where they should be. Their revenues are, they've received 75.39% of their budgeted revenues for the year and have only spent 68.52% of their budgeted expenses. So they are looking very positive. The next sheet is the bank account balances report for the month of July. It shows that the account balance of all city bank accounts in July of 2014 was $16,306,264.92, which is about $11 million more than it was 2 years ago. Then the final sheet in the packet is the accounts payable balances report. You will see that as of July 30th, 2014, the total balance of all city debt and accounts payable was $47,518,727.30. Outside of the packet, you do have a resolution on tonight's agenda to approve the issuance of the debt that occurred several months ago, last month. Just so we can have it out in the open and on the record, that bond refunding did save the city $1,084,000 over the life of those bonds. So it's extremely positive.
Thank you. Does any council member have any questions? Councilor Bowles.
Refresh my memory, do we have a bond payment coming up in October?
There's one in November.
November.
Yes, sir.
And how much is that?
It should be about $2.5 million.
So we have double what we need in that account to pay that fund?
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you.
We are looking at, in November, whenever that bond payment is due, the rest of the 2007 bond issue that is still outstanding is callable, and we are looking at going ahead and paying that off.
Great, thank you.
Councilor Chambers.
Do you know off the top of your head, and if you don't, that's fine, what our total debt was at the peak? It would have been 2010, roughly.
I don't know right off the top of my head,
Okay,
but
that's
I
fine.
can pull it pretty easily. I've got a report that actually shows that.
Okay.
I can email that to you.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir. This time we're going to our agenda. We have a consent agenda. We have 9 items on this consent agenda to consider. Number 1 is a resolution to declare various weedy lots to be a public nuisance and ordinary abatement per Title 11, Chapter 67 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, as amended. Number 2 is a resolution to set a public hearing to declare various weedy lots to be a public nuisance and ordinary abatement per Title 11, Chapter 67 of the Code of Alabama, 1975, as amended. Number 3 is a resolution to appoint Larry N. Smith to the Historic Preservation Commission. Number 4 is to reappoint Joe Mathis to the Airport Authority. Number 5 is to reappoint Robert Vaughn to the Airport Authority. Number 6 is to reappoint Denise B. Brown to the Airport Authority. Number 7 is to reappoint Kenneth B. Burton to the Commercial Development Authority. Number 8 is to reappoint Gerald S. Steele Jr. to the Commercial Development Authority. Number 9 is a resolution to reappoint Joseph W. Smith Jr. to the Commercial Development Authority. Do we have a motion to place these items on a consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of adopting the consent, placing these items on the consent agenda, signify by raising your right hand. Consent agenda has been adopted. We'll be in a discussion.
And this is probably directed towards our attorney, David. On the way to the lots, where are we at on getting what the Senate and legislature did for us last year, where they don't have to come back before us? Where are we at on that?
Okay, Kathy has gotten the one from Anniston.
Yes, sir.
And I'm looking at it. It's a step in the right direction, but I don't think it didn't cover everything like it should.
Okay, do you think we'll have it by summer's end? Because I'm afraid once winter hits, we won't think about it again
Sure.
until next summer.
Sure.
So yeah, if we could have that by summer's end, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. And this agenda is adopted. On our regular agenda, we have a resolution that was held from August the 5th, 2014. After speaking with the city attorney, he has asked that we hold this. There's some items that he needs to look at still further. So have someone make a motion to hold for 2 weeks.
I move that we hold.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Being a discussion on this. All in favor of holding for 2 more weeks, signify by raising your right hand. Item number 1 will be held. Item number 2 is a resolution to amend the FY2014 budget to avoid bid number 014-010 for the purchase of 4 additional 2015 police interceptor SUV vehicles for the building, engineering, finance, and planning departments at a cost not to exceed $104,072. Councilor Brown, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas the City of Prattville has received a Department of Transportation refund from the State of Alabama for previous projects, and whereas said refund was deposited into fiscal year 2014 budget line item miscellaneous income, and whereas the building, engineering, finance, and planning departments are in need of 1 2015 Police Interceptor SUV per department, and whereas bid number 014-010 was let for 1 or more 2015 Police Interceptor SUV vehicles, and whereas Ataga Automotive, LLC, doing business as Gilmore Ford, now known as Long Lewis of the River Region Incorporated, doing business as Long Lewis Ford, was the lowest responsible bidder with a cost of $26,018 per vehicle. And whereas the cost per vehicle awarded in bid number 014-010 shall be honored throughout the 2015 model year, now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the following FY2014 budget line items are increased by miscellaneous income $89,072, Building Department capital outlay $26,018, Engineering Department capital outlay $26,018, Finance Department capital outlay $26,018, Planning Department capital outlay $11,018. Be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Prattville hereby awards bid number 014-010 in the amount of $104,072 to Ataga Automotive, LLC, doing business as Gilmore Ford, now known as Long Lewis of the River Region Incorporated, doing business as Long Lewis Ford, for 4 additional 2015 Police Interceptor SUV vehicles, and said funds are approved and appropriated from fiscal year 2014 budget line item capital outlay for the building, engineering, finance, and planning departments. So moved, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Be in a discussion on this item. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. Item number 3 is a resolution to provide funds necessary to the employees' retirement system to cover the cost of the one-time lump sum payment for those eligible retirees and beneficiaries of deceased retirees of the City of Prattville as provided in Act 2014-429, and an estimated cost of $50,064. Councilor Chambers, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that the City of Prattville, through its governing authority, elects to come under the provisions of Section 2 of Act 429 of the regular session of the 2014 legislature. Number 2, that the City of Prattville agrees to provide all funds necessary to the employees' retirement system to cover the cost of the one-time lump sum payment as provided for by this act for those eligible retirees and beneficiaries of deceased retirees of the City of Prattville, with the aforementioned lump sum payment being paid in October 2014. So moved, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Will there be any discussion on item number 3? Councilor Bowles.
I just wanted to say kudos to Councilor Chambliss and whoever else had brought this before our attention, because we almost let this slip by. And I think the HR was involved in it and some other people. But I do appreciate that, and I know the retirees appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Be any further discussion on this item? All in favor signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. Item number 4, it was a resolution to release funds for the purchase of one Bushwhacker ST 120 10-foot flex wing cutter from Hall Manufacturing from state contract T226, contract number 4011293 for the Urban Management Department at a cost not to exceed $7,726. Councilor Boone, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas there is a need for one Bushwhacker model ST 120 10-foot flex wing cutter in the Urban Management Department, and whereas said equipment is available through state contract from Hall Manufacturing, contract number 4011293, at a cost not to exceed $7,726, and whereas said purchase is a budgeted item for the Urban Management Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that said funds in the amount not to exceed $7,726 are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Hall Manufacturing, and funds are approved and appropriated from FY2014 Budget line item Urban Management Department / Capital Outlay. So move, Mr. President.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. There be any discussion on this item? All in favor signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. Item number 5 is a resolution to release funds for the purchase of 2 servers and 1 external hard drive from Dell from state contract T531, contract number 4012565 for the Information Technology Department at a cost not to exceed $22,138. Councilor Bowles, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. Whereas there's a need for one PowerVault NX32 server and one PowerEdge R52 server and on 1 external hard drive in the Information Technology Department, and whereas said equipment is available through state contract from Dell, contract 4012565, at a total cost not to exceed $22,138, and whereas said purchase is budgeted item for the Information Technology Department. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Prattville that said funds in an amount not to exceed $22,138 are hereby authorized and approved to be paid to Dell, and funds are approved and appropriated from the FY 2014 budget line item Information Technology Department capital outlay. I so move.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. We'll be in discussion on this item. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. Item number 6 is an ordinance authorizing the issuance and making provisions for the payment of $9,955,000 general obligation refund and warrants. Series 2014. Councilor Strickland, will you read it, please?
Yes, sir. An ordinance authorizing the issuance and making provision for the payment of $9,955,000 general obligation refunding warrants, Series 2014. So moved, Mr. President.
Have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. In order to consider this tonight, the rules must be suspended unanimously. Do we have a motion? Motion. We have a motion to suspend. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. All in favor of suspending the rules signify by raising your right hand. Rules have now been suspended. This item is open for discussion at this time. We'll be in a discussion. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. And this item is adopted. That concludes our agenda for tonight. At this time, we have comments from anyone on any other item that they would like to discuss. Please raise your hand. Mayor, you have closing comments?
Yes, sir. Just sort of a save the date, September the 12th from 6 to 10 p.m. 175th year for Prattville is bringing back the fountain celebration. More details to follow, so stay in tune with our city website. That also, thank you for all your hard work, and it's paying off. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Strickland?
No, sir.
Councilor Brown?
No, sir.
Councilor Chambers?
No, sir.
Councilor Bowles?
No, sir.
Councilor Boone?
No, sir.
With that being said, again, we want to congratulate all the gentlemen and their families on their promotions tonight. I want to thank all the city employees, as usual, for what you do. Thank each one of you council members for the work that you're doing and what you have done with your respective committees and staying in tune with what's going on. That's what makes it look like it's real easy down here, but a lot of work is being done. So I need to let the general public know that behind the scenes. Thank you, Mayor, for presenting us a budget in a timely manner. We do have a work session scheduled for next Tuesday, the 26th at 5:30 in these chambers. Hope to see you all then. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor of adjournment signify by raising your right hand. We adjourn.